Whoa. Uh,
I know
just
that's
a record.
good too.
Yeah, I never heard it say recording in progress. Anyway, what is up, world? John Shoot here for another Puff Creative podcast. Today, I have the pleasure of being with CEO, founder, Christina de Giovanni of Emerald Magazine. How's it going?
Hey, how you doing? Pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
I know we kind of just started really chatting like maybe a few weeks back, and things are already unfolding in our relationship, which is cool.
It's
Um,
it.
yeah, exactly. Before I obviously you're on here because I want to hear just a little bit more about your story because you're busy always telling everyone else's story. Tell us just a little overview about the Emerald Magazine.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're a consumer-facing media group. We started in the Emerald Triangle. That's where we get our name from. We're homegrown from Humboldt County. I went to Humboldt State University. I majored in journalism. Started the Emerald in 2012, and we were a monthly print magazine for years, for like over been in existence for 9 years now. The first year we were quarterly, then we went monthly, and when the pandemic hit, we swapped back to quarterly. And so yeah, historically a print magazine just about the cannabis lifestyle and how life is better with cannabis. And today we also do daily articles on our website. We do podcasts, we do videos, we do a newsletter 3 times a week. So we really are all about just promoting cannabis in a really positive light and just showing newcomers and consumers and even existing industry members like what the industry is, what's going on. It's not the days of devil's lettuce anymore.
Yeah.
It's not just about boobs, blunts, and bongs. Like there's so much more to it. It's an amazing community full of amazing entrepreneurs and amazing products that is very exciting to be a part of, and it's very exciting to work with so many interesting, incredible entrepreneurs.
I couldn't agree with you more on all of that. And I will say, we just started doing the campaign together, and I've been just super impressed with everything. Your flexibility, communication, your network, really impressive, especially because I work with different magazines all over the world at this point. So keep up the great work on that end. And I want to circle back to the Emerald Mag and just like more current topics in the future. But let's take a step back and dig into your story a bit more. Where are you from originally? Just to
So,
start.
absolutely. So I'm originally from San Diego, from a town called Poway,
Okay.
and it's great. It's a little horse town in San Diego, and beautiful weather, as everyone knows. But when I was a kid, my parents separated and we moved out to Austin, Texas. My mother had family out there, and my
Interesting.
dad didn't. Yeah, my dad didn't want to be away from his kids, so we all pretty much picked up and moved to Austin, Texas. And I think it was in the 4th grade when we moved out there. And then by the 9th grade, I had discovered cannabis and
Oh,
was
that was
smoking
my next question. In Texas.
in Texas. And my parents were mortified. Like my mother literally cried when
Damn.
she caught smoking for the first time. And she said the classic lines like, "What did I do wrong? Oh my gosh, I failed as a parent." And I was just like, it's not that big of a deal. But I had a connection with cannabis outside of just getting high. Like I felt like it changed me, it changed my perspective. I became more in tune and woke around me. And so I wouldn't stop smoking it. I kept going. And eventually boarding school came into the picture. And by
Because of cannabis, or
that played a big role, I would say. Uh,
interesting.
so yeah, by my sophomore year of high school, I went out to an all-girls boarding school in New Jersey.
No way. That's where I'm
Yeah,
from.
and
Which one?
it's called Purnell.
Okay.
It's
I
in
think
it's in
yeah, I feel like I've heard of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's really small. It's like less than 100 students. It was on a dairy farm in Hunterdon County in Pottersville, New Jersey. I think,
Yep. I have friends from Hunterdon County.
okay. Wow, I'm really cotton mouth. Hold on one sec. Can I go?
No, no worries. Yeah, yeah. Just gonna hit my vape, I guess.
It's that bomb load I took right before I got on.
That will do it.
Yeah, so I went out there for sophomore, junior, and senior year of high school, but I still loved cannabis. Like I wasn't able to smoke all throughout high school because it was, I would have got caught. I did sneak it a few times. Like I took an apple from the dining hall, went into the basement, the storage unit, like took a hit of some weed that I might have found, like, I don't know.
Because it's tough. It's not legal and
Yeah.
black market, drug dealer type of thing. It's like,
And like being a 16-year-old girl in New Jersey, like trying to find pot like on the weekends.
yeah,
Like not,
especially in that area too. It's like,
yeah, not the easiest, but no, I still had like a connection with cannabis and I felt like I had missed out all those years. So when I was a junior in high school, I went to Google when I was doing my college research and I typed in hippie colleges of America. And High Times magazine had a list come up and it was the top 10 most liberal colleges in America and like why they were so liberal. And Humboldt State University was number one. And under the description, all it said was, dude, it's fucking Humboldt. That's it. I was like, where is this place? Like, where is this magical land of weed that I could go and like get my degree? And it was right in
it's fucking humble. That's awesome.
So I looked it up and they actually had a nursing program and I wanted to be a psychiatric nurse. That was like initially what I wanted to be.
Wow.
And so I applied, I got into the pre-nursing program. I went there after college and my whole family was so against it. They were like, I can't believe you would go all the way to college for weed. Like, we're so disappointed. We're not paying for it at all. And I was like, I'm gonna have to take out student loans anyways. Might as well go to college where I want to go.
Yeah.
So I went. It was amazing. Humboldt County is beautiful. The Emerald Triangle is gorgeous. Like it's truly God's country. I mean,
Yeah, for sure.
It's the rugged coast and the redwood trees, and it's cannabis everywhere. Like the community, the culture. I loved it. Eventually, they took away the nursing program from the university, so I switched to journalism, and that's like my background for Emerald kind of began.
Yeah, I did some researching on you, and that's what pops up a lot. Is that you're a journalist?
Yeah. I always loved Diane Sawyer growing up. So
there you go. There you go.
Wouldn't be opposed to being the next
Diane Sawyer of cannabis.
Yes, I'm working on it. I'm practicing right now.
You're crushing it.
I'm practicing right now. So yeah, like I switched to journalism, and in my senior year of college, I started. Well, I guess let me back up a little bit. When I was a junior in college, a friend came to visit from Austin, and her friend, who was also named Christina, was like, hey, I have a trim job. Do you want to go up to this mountain? And my friend was like, I'm going to go up to this mountain and trim. And I was like, I want to go to the mountain and trim. And they were like, all right, come to the mountain. So I went to the mountain. I was a terrible trimmer. Like I remember the grower.
It's hard.
Yeah. And no one trained me. Like
it's tough. And they're really particular too. Like they'll be like, retrim that whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Like they just put me in the seat with the Fiskars and they were like, here, trim. And so I remember the grower coming around and like picking a nug out of my bag and being like, whoa, like you need to redo this whole bag. And my friend's friend came over and was like, oh my gosh, like I'm so embarrassed. Like you're such an amateur. Like you never trimmed weed before. And I was like, no. But made it through that situation. Then the growers there, they invited me to go to their other farm, their other property, and like trim there and there. And so that's how I got into it. Just kind of like this random invitation that grew into a life-changing experience.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It was an awesome journey. It's still such an awesome journey. But I met someone like during my time up there and started dating him. And we were together for like almost 3 years. But when we were 6 months into our relationship, we were living together in Arcata and he was out of town and I get like an abrasive cop knock at the front door, like nothing I'd ever heard. It's like 8 in the morning. It's my last semester of college. It's like January, late January. And I open the front door and it's the entire Humboldt County Drug Task Force in the front yard.
Holy shit.
Guns drawn, just
Guns drawn.
yeah, bulletproof vests on. There's like
And it's just you.
Yeah, it was just there's like a dozen of them, or like, yeah, a dozen of them, and my landlords lived right next door, and they were like an elderly couple, like so sweet.
Oh
and,
my
and
God.
and they were so scared, and they told the cops, they were like, they're not growing in there, like, no, we go through there every so often. Like they would do a walkthrough. Like even if I left the light on overnight, my landlord would be like, Christina, you left the light on.
Yeah, they're on it.
Like they are on it. So we were not doing any sort of cultivation in there.
Interesting.
But that's what the cops said. They're like, we smell fresh growing cannabis coming from in there, and like we're gonna enter pending a search warrant. And so I let them in. I had no choice. I was like, okay, well, there's 10 of you and one of me. So I let them in. I was detained for like 5 hours. They searched the whole house. We were not growing any cannabis in there. And the only place they had left to look was like the attic, but they didn't look in there because there was no judge that had signed a warrant. They even like offered me an opportunity to leave at one point, and I was like, no, I'm not going to leave like all these cops in my house.
Yeah,
And
they're just gonna plant like a pound randomly or something.
who knew? I mean, the thing is, we had weed in the house. We had like 3 pounds in the house. We had our 215, our medical cards, so we were all covered. The amount of cannabis we had was covered by our medical cards. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, so they came in, the judge signed the warrant, and then they went into the attic, and my boyfriend had some money in the attic. And I was arrested for that money. And they put the charges that they arrested me on were possession of marijuana with intent to distribute, and I had like a bag of trim in one of the back bedrooms, like a grocery bag full of old trim that I had taken down from the hill. I got harboring a room for drug manufacturing for that bag. And then we had firearms in the house. So, I mean, guilty as charged. Like I was raised in Texas. I am a legal firearm owner, and I had it in my house. And when I was arrested, that was one of the charges on there. And I go to jail. I was detained for a few hours. I was bailed out. And
wait. So how could they even tag these things onto?
Well, they needed some reason to arrest me to take that money.
For sure. So they just tagged that stuff on so they could actually take you for the money and that be the main charge.
So they could take us to court. And like, it really is like law enforcement, in my opinion, it's kind of like a business, I mean, they tack on charges, and then like you got to get a lawyer, and then like the tax people are paying for like the defense, and like it just, at the end of the day, it's just like a long drawn out business, unfortunately. And you're a number in a cell, and it I mean, my dad, like, he's not in a position to just bail me out of jail, but he did, and I'm lucky that I had that opportunity, because some people.
Yeah, how many people don't?
Yeah, so many people stay there, and it's
are in your situation, or for something even less. Yeah. Just being black.
Yeah, exactly. It's a pay for play. So if here's the crazy thing is, like, they arrest you for something, and then they say, oh, well, if you give us thousands of dollars, you can get out. So it literally is like, okay, so just because I can't pay, then I'm more of a danger to society. It's very sad. It's very hard, and it's very sad. And if I ever run for president, it will be on prison reform, because
I will vote for you.
Yeah, I mean, because that is something that, like, I've been there. I've been arrested for cannabis, and it was awful, and it was expensive, and
it's like you've turned that into a positive too, and it's like how many people are still, like, lives are ruined, like, or in jail, and then it's like, we both make money off legal cannabis now, and how many other people out there who, like, don't even smoke weed and have no, like, passion like we do are making money off of it. It's insane.
Well, Yeah, it was life altering to say the least. And that's, and while I was sitting in jail, I thought the pen is mightier than the sword. Like I have I will have a journalism.
Diane Sawyer, she's coming.
Yeah, I was like, and I will like create a platform to amplify the little man like me because nobody else is like helping us. Like everyone thinks we're degenerates, we're criminals.
Yep.
We had high times, but it's not always about tits and ass. It's about more than that. So, yeah. So, the next day, I got out that day, and then the next day I bought like the emeraldmagazine.com, and it was like a fire.
No way.
It was a fire inside. I was like, oh
no way. Really? It was just like immediately.
I was like, I'm going to start a revenge magazine against bad cops, and I'm going to make cannabis look good. And that was like the driving force. Is the driving force. But not still is. It's much bigger than that now. Like it's a whole encompassing like community. But the origins were made from a negative situation. I was that's as low as you go, being arrested.
For sure.
And so 9 months of court, got all my firearms back. And they didn't,
because you had your license, you said, right?
There's nothing illegal there. It's not illegal to legally purchase a firearm and to fill out the paperwork. And I had to wait to be verified. I didn't get it the next day. Like it took me a few weeks, to get approved and to do the proper process and being a responsible gun owner.
Yeah.
And so got my firearms back, got my money returned. They went into
Wait, you got the money back too for what you...
So my ex, he also got charged. He got off of his charges by forfeiting the money. So that's all that they wanted in the end. Those cops just wanted to, maintain their budget, to be self-funded. And
wow.
My ex forfeited all the money that they took from the attic, and he had to pay a possession of marijuana ticket, which is like a misdemeanor, and it was like $100. So that's like a slap on the wrist. And then he had to do 120 hours of community service. I think it's been a long time, but
interesting.
Yeah, so
when was this again?
2012.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So 9 years ago or so.
Yeah, in January. But they dropped all my charges, and they went into my wallet when they were raiding me, and they drained my bank accounts with my debit cards. They gave me back all that money.
What?
Yeah, like
they can do that?
Yeah, they took everything. They can take anything. That's why it's important to have good journalism out there. That's why it is important to like be heard and to speak up and to amplify.
Yeah.
And that's what I felt like we were missing. I felt like we were missing someone that I could reach out to, because I even reached out to the journalism department at the university, and like they published my words and like spun it in their own direction. I was like, oh no, my own people are like
turning on me.
Yeah, I just felt like there wasn't enough positive power of the press. I don't know. That's how I felt. And so we started as a print magazine and did that for a very long time. And then in 2019, I relocated.
Keep going. There's a baby here. Sorry, guys, listeners and viewers.
And in 2019, I relocated to New York to really expand as a media group and expand in the cannabis industry as it came online back east. So that's where I am today. I'm speaking to you from Bushwick, New York.
Yeah. It looks, I don't know why I just get California vibes from the look of the background. I guess it's because it's, yeah, exactly. I like thought you were there too. That's amazing. Where are you currently? So your client base is kind of all over the country right now, right?
Yeah, our largest
world.
Audience, yeah, our largest audience is in LA and then New York City. But there are people in between and up in Maine and Vermont and Florida and Texas. All over. And a lot of people. We have like recurring visitors, but a lot of people type into Google, can cannabis help me with my arthritis? Can it help me with PTSD, with my sex life?
And you guys are popping up.
Yeah, we pop up. So people come to us for all different reasons. We have a conscious consumption series where we highlight minority founded businesses. So, people come looking to spend consciously. They like
Where,
target.
where can people find that?
Just go to the emeraldmagazine.com. We've got a link right there at the top. I think we have 100 plus Black founded businesses, Latinx founded businesses, Indigenous founded, Asian and American Pacific founded, and we're launching LGBTQ founded this month. So
Amazing. Yeah, we're actually LGBTQ founded.
nice.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah, for sure. That's cool. I'll definitely be plugging that in, backlinking to your site and all of those things, which is awesome. What are you most excited about for two questions, I guess in one is, what are you most excited about for the future of Emerald? And then two, what are you most excited about for, the future of cannabis in general?
Well, I'm really excited. I'll start with, what I'm excited about cannabis in general. I'm really excited for, federal legalization. I know there's a lot of mixed feelings about it, but, having been arrested for it and knowing what that's like, I don't think anyone should be arrested. I think we need to just move to the next step. So I'm excited for the country to come online and for more people to be able to use cannabis and not be stigmatized by it, and for us to do research with it. I mean, for seizures, my mother has seizures, for anything, Alzheimer's, for pain relief. So I'm looking forward to advancing cannabis and growing with it. For Emerald, I mean, kind of on the same lines, like I'm looking forward to growing with the industry and being just a continued resource for people looking for information on cannabis. Like, it's easy to digest, easy to navigate information on the industry. And yeah.
Oh, sweet. That's amazing. I guess my last thing I'll end with here is, any advice that you can give to someone who might be entering the cannabis space for the first time. I know like you and myself, like we're always kind of communicating with like varsity, people or like newer brands and in a lot of states that might be mature. But I do get a lot of listeners, who are just new to the space, new to cannabis in general. Any advice you give for like a new user, new consumer?
Yeah, absolutely. Network as much as you can. This industry historically has been built behind closed doors, and who takes you to the next person or the next lead. Network. I know that we're all still kind of remote right now and might be for a little bit, but if you have an opportunity to go and meet people in the industry, go to as many events as possible, talk to as many. The cannabis industry is so friendly. You never feel like you meet a stranger. Every time you're at an event, you could literally turn around, start talking to someone, and they're excited because cannabis is exciting. I think that's like one of the best things about the industry is that everyone who's here is genuinely happy to be here. And I am so happy that I get to work with those people because their momentum feeds my momentum and our momentum together is stronger. And,
Yeah,
it's all about teamwork. It
it,
really does make the dream.
it really is. This industry more so than any, because especially because I feel like it's so just rapidly expanding and developing like every single day now at this point. It's insane. And it's funny, it's just really cool to hear your story and your perspective because I've been like a fan of the Emerald Mag since I first got in the industry. And I guess you kind of, have like in your head like what the CEO and founder is like. I'm like, wow, it's like just like me and very similar story to myself. So I think that's also like really cool, is like you've built this like great reputation and this foundation for yourself and have like just absolutely crushed it and you're just still doing your thing. And it's just like it's inspiring to see. So thank you so much for sharing your story and your time. I really, really do appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Yeah, for sure. And I will plug in all the links to your website and social media and the podcast. And thank you so much, Christina. I appreciate you.
Totally. All right. Likewise.